Yes, people, welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Dan back again with another reaction. Just want to say thanks for all the great comments, all the likes, the subscribes, the shares. Keep it up. Let's keep this going. Let's keep the reactions going. So today I'll be reacting to Surah An Najm. So yeah, this is a recitation by Umar Hisham. Alright, so this was a request from Ramio. Told me this is quite an interesting surah. It's got a bit of mysticism in it as well. So, you know, I look forward to getting into it. Yeah, I've had a little brief look over it. I haven't had a full, obviously I haven't heard it or listened to it yet. I had a quick look over. But yeah, let's get into it and give you my reaction. Alright, let's go. Wow, I just want to see, that's like beautiful imagery there, like to say that the angel was on the horizon and he came down to the Prophet, because a lot of the narrations and illustrations that you see Prophet Muhammad in the cave, and then you see Gabriel there as if he just kind of appeared next to him, but this says he was on the horizon. The actual Quran says he was on the horizon and he came down to him. So it gives you the imagery that he was there in light on the horizon in the sun, and he flew down towards Prophet Muhammad. It's a lot more, imagine seeing that or witnessing that. That's a lot more like awe-inspiring, a lot more astounding, a lot more, oof, you'll be blown away by seeing something like that. That would be a most unjust, because the pagan Arab regard his daughter as a humiliation. The Quran argues that. Oh, I see. Yeah, that was a bit confusing to me. I was thinking, okay, so it's saying these disbelievers have these pagans have their goddesses, obviously goddesses being female, and they're not the true God, not what you should worship. And then the Quran's challenging by saying, okay, according to you, it's a humiliation to have a daughter. So is it not illogical you to attribute females or daughters to God, you know, if it's such a disgrace to you? It's just showing them that, you know, they've got a kind of unfounded, their belief system has no structure, no basis to build off of. It's contradictory in its own construct, in its own belief. So, wow, okay, interesting. That's a really interesting point there, because when they I guess when Allah said about the female goddesses, they're not the true God, they're just made up attributions from the forefathers. I was thinking to myself, so what is your opinion of these goddesses? What are they, just made up stories? And then it kind of says, okay, they may have been real beings, they may have been angels, or let's have a look, let's go back here. It says there are many angels in heaven whose intercession will be of no use. So as soon as it talks about the false goddesses, it then goes and talks about the angels, saying their intercession also, the powerful angels that have more power, more wisdom than us, their intercessions will be no use either. So maybe it's hinting at the fact that some kind of holy or higher beings here that you're calling goddesses and gods, they're but a creation of Allah like the angels are. Or maybe they were just not a creation at all, maybe they did not exist at all. I thought it might have been like I was talking about the angels straight after, it might have been like a kind of a nod towards, hey, make the link here, telling you about the angels, their intercession will have no power, just as your goddesses have no power.
موسى وإبراهيم الذي وفى لا تزر وازرة وزر أخرى وأن ليس للإنسان إلا ما سعى وأن سعيه سوف يرى ثم يجزاه الجزاء الأوفى وأن إلى ربك المنتهى إلى ربك المنتهى.
So it's a very interesting contrast in the beliefs of Christianity and Islam. So Christianity, they believe in, Jesus died for the sins of man, all the sins and all the wrongdoing that man was doing on earth. Jesus came and died for it and atoned for it and made up for all the badness of man. And, that was supposed to mark the start of the new covenant. So obviously the old covenant, obviously Jesus said himself he was not come he's come to assert and maintain the old covenant, but he's come to change it, but confirm it by saying, because the old covenant basically said that a new covenant would be brought about, and then Jesus come and brought the new covenant. So he's saying, I'm confirming the old covenant by bringing about the new covenant that it prophesied would come. So obviously now, by bringing the new covenant, it says Jesus died for your sin, but obviously in the Quran, it says, no one should be responsible for the sin of others. No soul shall bear the burden of another. His labour will be seen. A man will only have what he has worked towards. His labour will be seen. In the end, will be repaid in full for it. That the final goal is your Lord. So basically saying, whatever deeds you do, you will be repaid for your good deeds. And obviously equally in opposite, any bad deeds will be your responsibility. No one will be able to take on the the kind of karma of your deeds or the responsibility of your bad deeds, which is really interesting. He is the Lord of Sirius, and it's got underneath, it says underneath the star worshipped by the pagan Arabs. So it says he is the Lord of Sirius, and it's got the annotation underneath that says the star worshipped by the pagan Arabs. So if you know a bit about astronomy, Sirius is one of the brightest stars in our sky, along with Venus at times, which is seen as the North Star. But Sirius is one of the brightest stars. The Sirius star system is one of the brightest star systems in our sky. You have Sirius A and Sirius B, and that is really interesting. Why is he the Lord of Sirius? Why is God the Lord of Sirius? So it's got the annotation, the star worshipped by the pagan Arabs. Okay, so I'm taking that the pagan Arabs were not worshipping God, they were worshipping the star, the bright star in the sky. It's a bright, visible, beautiful, eminent light, so they were worshipping that. So it's just ascertaining and confirming that God, Allah is the Lord of this as well. This is a creation. Do not worship the creation, worship the Creator. Okay. I know a lot of you always told me to read the tafsir, so let me find some tafsir about this, just to get a clear just to get a clear explanation. Okay, so I found this on islamweb.net. So it says the meaning of the verse: as the outstanding sheikh of tafsir, exegesis of the Quran, Imam at-Tabari said in his tafsir Jami al-Bayan fi Tawil al-Quran, and that is he who's the Lord of Sirius. That's what it's referring to, which we just listened to. So Allah the Almighty says, and your Lord, O Muhammad, is the Lord of Sirius, meaning the star that is called with this name, which is a star that some of the people in Jahiliyyah, the pre-Islamic era of ignorance, used to worship instead of Allah. Okay. So As-Sadi said in his tafsir, Allah specifically named this star, even though Allah is the Lord of everything, because this star was worshipped in Jahiliyyah. So Allah informed us that the polytheists used to worship, what the polytheists used to worship is a creature, a creation, that is run by another power. So how can it be taken as a god beside Allah? Okay, so it's another kind of wake-up call to the pagans and the polytheists to say, don't worship these idols, don't worship these stars, these trees, fire, whatever you're worshipping. Even though I know some people argue that these are all creations of beauty or essence and true emanations of God. So worshipping them, you're truly worshipping God, but you're just, I know it's anti-Islamic clearly by the Quran, because people end up worshipping the wrong thing instead of straight to God the Creator. But yeah, so yeah, Allah's making it clear here, don't worship the creation. The according to the tafsir by As-Sadi, it's making it clear that how can the star be taken, or sun Sirius be taken as a god beside Allah? Don't worship a star, don't worship anything but God Himself. Allah knows best. Okay, let's see if we can get any other information about. Okay, so I found this website, Miracles of the Quran, where it's got a bit about Sirius. It's got astronomy, some astronomy about it. So let's see what it says. So distance in light years and radius. Okay, interesting. So 1400 years ago, people knew that the brightest star in the night sky is Sirius. I think they meant to write the brightest star in the night sky. People knew the brightest star in the night sky is Sirius. Oh, people knew the brightest star in the night sky is Sirius. However, nobody knew the distance to the star. Sirius is mentioned in the Quran by name in the chapter The Star, which we just read, and that it is He who is the Lord of Sirius. Okay, so they've got the distance to Sirius on Google, 8.611 light years. Sirius is 8.61 light years away from Earth. Okay, and they've converted it to short range scale. So that's 861 centilight years when you convert it to short range scale. So 8.61 light years is equivalent to 861 centilight years. So distance to Sirius is 861 centilight years. It turned out that between the word star in the first verse and the word earth in verse 32, there are 861 letters. Wow. Okay. It's got a little demonstration here in Arabic. So the word star and the word earth are separated by 861 letters. Today we know that Sirius is 861 centilight years away from Earth. Wow, how could an illiterate man who lived 1400 years ago have known the distance to Sirius? Wow, that's impressive. Like I said before, I do obviously believe in the Quran. I don't believe it's some kind of falsehood. It was truly sent by, higher power. Obviously the skeptics would say, it's just a fluke. They're just looking for numbers that would match up with Sirius, but that's a ridiculous thing to say. The fact that it's been scientifically proven that it's 861 centilight years or 8.61 light years away, and there's exactly 861 letters between the word star and earth. It's literally, you've got the star, you've got the earth. The amount of letters in between the star and the earth are 861, which is the same as the amount of light years separating. That's amazing. Wow. Wow. Because when I read that word Sirius, I thought, man, that's a really specific star to pick out. Obviously, for the obvious reason of the pagans, Arab pagans worshipping the star, and God saying, I'm the creator of the star. Do not worship the star. You're supposed to worship your creator. Give thanks, give praise to your creator, not to stars and creations. And wow, the fact that the same amount of letters between the word star and earth is the same amount of light years literally between the earth and the star Sirius. That's amazing. Okay, I just want to check something as well, because in the law of one, I'm sure it said something about Sirius. Let's have a look. Okay, so in the law of one, the raw material, which I'm quite a big student of as well, they were asking, are there any beings, any aliens, any extraterrestrials that have come to Earth from another star system? And they're saying, they mention like in the Quran that there's 7 heavens, 7 densities, 7 dimensions. It's saying for the most part it's only those of the higher densities, which the Quran calls the unseen world. It's only them that have come to Earth. But it specifically points out something about people from Sirius. It says, firstly, we are what we call, in the raw material, we are known as third density entities, third density beings. We are of the third plane of existence, and our heaven world, or our hereafter, is the third heaven. So it says, firstly, there are a few third density entities who have learned to use craft to travel between star systems. So the way we travel through space, using chemical reactions and nuclear power and fusion and reactors to blast our way through space with rockets and such things, it says there are very few like us who have learned to travel between star systems, while experiencing the limitations that we experience, because the higher density beings, the higher, more advanced beings, they use very different technologies. They use like anti-gravity technology, they use different types of energy systems, what they call a slingshot technology, which actually uses the speed of light to slingshot. They have others that have learned to see the universe as one, so they can basically translocate. But anyway, what they explain is that, I'll read it out to you. So it says, firstly, there are a few third density entities who have learned to use craft to travel between star systems while experiencing the limitations that you now understand. However, such entities have learned to use hydrogen in a way different from your understanding now. So it says the people of our evolutionary status, third density, the people of our level of evolution, scientifically, spiritually, the people who are of our limitation, our level of evolution, they have learned to travel from star system to star system using hydrogen. So NASA does use hydrogen in its flight, but obviously it says here, such entities have learned to use hydrogen in a way different from your understanding now. So they use hydrogen to travel from their star system to our star system. It says these entities still take quite long durations of time as you measure it to move about. However, these entities are able to use hypothermia to slow the physical and mental complex processes in order to withstand the duration of the flight. So I don't know if you, what's that film called? There's a film where they show this. There's many films actually. 2001: A Space Odyssey is one of them. There's a more recent one as well, where in order to travel to another star system using our technology, they have to place themselves in like this container, this tank, and put hypothermia on their bodies. So yeah, medically induced hypothermia is basically when you lower your body temperature to a lower than normal level, but it allows you to be asleep. It allows all your organs to function, and allows all your organs to function at a very low state, but it basically keeps you in like an induced coma. It keeps you asleep, keeps your body temperature low, your organs and everything still function, but you're able to be in a long hibernated sleep, so you can just stay in that sleep for a whole long duration, which is saying very specific what they're using, scientific terms, says these entities are able to use hypothermia to slow the physical and mental processes. So they're slowing their body and their mind down by dropping the temperature of the body so that they can hibernate and they can make the long distance to travel from star system to star system. So it says these entities are able to use hypothermia to slow the physical, mental, complex processes in order to withstand the duration of the flight. Those such as are from Sirius are of this type. And it says there are 2 other types, but they specifically name Sirius. So let's look at this here. In the Quran, it's specified that Allah is also the Lord of Sirius. In the Law of One, the Ra material, it's said, of the very few people of our technological and spiritual and conscious level, the ones that have managed to travel here, which presumably some people on Earth would have come in contact with. There are many stories about governments and people having contact with aliens and extraterrestrials from Sirius. They claim they are from the Sirius star system. The Betty and Barney Hill story is one of those. They claim that they came into contact with aliens from Sirius. It's saying that those from Sirius, because obviously the higher density ones that we come in contact with, that come in contact with Earth, they're going to look different to us. They're going to be more filled with light. They might be mistaken for angels. They might be mistaken for like higher beings. But the ones that we come in contact with that appear pretty much as human as us, or as physical and third dimensional as us, these are from Sirius. So what does Allah say? What does the Quran say? The Quran says God is the God of Sirius also. So if you come across these beings which are able to get here, who are of the same level as you, who should have a similar, not physical appearance, but they should be physical beings in physical craft like we have. We have men in suits or women in suits. They get into a rocket, they go into space. The ones that you see like that, who come in contact with Earth, God is also the God of them too. Wow. Wow. The Quran is revealing a lot, man. Wow. Alright, let's continue. Wow. And after talking about the Sirius, the star Sirius, people worshipping, and then if you bring the Ra context into it, talking about the people of Sirius, it then talks about the people of all these nations that God swept away, as told in the Bible and the Torah, the Old Testament. Wow. Wow, that was deep, man. We discovered so much in that. Wow. So the worship of the star Sirius, God is the master of that creation. God is the master of all creation. If he refers to the Ra material, the people that come from Sirius, who are about our level as well, who actually managed to reach Earth. God is also the God of them. The Quran states Allah is the Master, the God, the Lord of worlds, plural worlds. Wow, 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 wow. Some serious information here, man. Wow. It's interesting though, because it's like you can reflect on it on the base level of the context of the current time with the Arab pagans, etc. And then you can read it if you don't want to exclude, if you want it to be the truth to be exclusive in the Quran itself, you can. Or if, like me, you choose to make reference to other things, it can be, the truth can be exclusive. The truth can be revealed through that as well, which I do really like. Wow. Great surah there, really enjoyed that reaction. Please request more. I really like the mysticism of the Quran, especially those types of surah. Thanks for watching once again. I've been your boy Dan. Peace, and I'll catch you next time.